Thanks for staying with us. This is it Business Incorporated on Channels Television. I am BC Adebayo. On today's show, a new solution at bringing power to Africans at the bottom of the pyramid has been inaugurated. And Tanzanian President John Magufuli appoints a chairman for the country's new mining commission. Plus, the IMF tells central banks to take gradual and transparent approach to tightening monetary policy. Well, let's see how the stock markets here in Africa are performing at intraday, beginning from Nigeria, where the all-share index is 0.35% higher at noon. The GSE index is also 0.55% in the green. In Egypt, the index remains positive with plus 0.58%. Kenya is the only one in the negative with a decline of over 1% on Wednesday. And in the Middle East, the numbers are looking up at intraday, except that of the Dubai index, which is down 0.18%. The Abu Dhabi index is 0.52% higher, while the Qatar SE is over 1.5% up at lunchtime. In Saudi Arabia, the market is up 1.09%, also at intraday. And the European markets were mixed on Thursday morning as investors reacted to fresh earnings and soaring oil prices. Investors also have their eyes on a couple of happenings across the globe, and Daniel Koop is at the Frankfurt Stock Exchange to let us into some of the major stories making headlines today. It's good to see you, Daniel.
Hi there. Yes, good to see you as well.
Now, let's begin our conversation with the German finance minister who's in Washington right now holding talks with the U.S. government. What does Germany and Europe want?
Well, the answer is actually very simple. He does not want any punitive tariffs, which means free trade between the United States of America with Europe and, of course, also here with Germany. That is going to be the main topic during the meeting before his trip to the United States. Scholz, who was, by the way, very new in office, he was formerly the mayor of the city here of Hamburg. He pointed out that the United States is a very important ally of the country and that the transatlantic partnership is a main pillar of the German and also the European foreign policy. Scholz, by the way, is in Washington right now for the International Monetary Fund's spring meeting. And we have to remember that the European Union exemption from heavy tariffs imposed by U.S. President Donald Trump on steel and aluminium import is set to expire on May 1st, so they really have to get a deal on this. Chancellor Angela Merkel is also scheduled to meet U.S. President Donald Trump in Washington on April 27th ahead of that deadline. Many countries here in Europe are very much concerned that Trump's tariffs, which of course he claims are to protect the domestic metal industry, could lead to a worldwide trade war, and many jobs worldwide and mostly here in Europe also could be lost. Scholz and Vice President Pence are also expected to discuss the Syria conflict following a joint attack by the US, France and Britain last weekend on the Syrian government targets in response to a suspected chemical attack on civilians. The strike has caused lots of tension, we have to remember that, to rise with Russia, which backs the Syrian government of President al-Assad Bashar.
In corporate news now, where share buyback is in vogue, Unilever has joined the bandwagon, looking to return some $6 billion to shareholders. Any details on why this deal would work for Unilever and who else is buying back shares?
Yes, a very interesting deal. Exactly. The consumer giant Unilever announced a €6 billion buyback scheme ahead of the spin-off of its spreads division as its braces. That's how they are calling it for major company changes. Sales, however, in the first quarter were down 5.2% to €12.6 billion, falling from €13.3 billion in the same period in the year of 2017. So the chief executive of the company, his name was Paul Polman, he voiced confidence, however, of the sale of its division and announced plans to drop London as one of its two bases. He revealed also that a €6 billion buyback program would be launched in May to return the expected after-tax proceeds from this spreads disposal. The company said in December that it had sealed a €6.8 billion deal to sell its spreads division to US private equity giant KKR. And the CEO also pointed out that the move was expected to be completed in the middle of this year, BZ.
And Daniel, just before you go, tell us about the changes at the German pharmaceutical company Merck.
Yeah, also a very interesting change in the company. They are located here in Darmstadt, not very far away from where we are. There are going to be big changes. To make it pretty simple, everything where you don't need an official prescription from the doctor, like an aspirin pill when you have a headache or vitamin C pills, all of this will be sold to Procter & Gamble for an amount of 3.4 billion euros. The price is well below the 4 billion euros that analysts had valued the over-the-counter arm at. There are some 3,300 workers worldwide who will be affected by this sale, 300 of them here in Germany. The proceeds from the sale will be used to pay off debts which increased dramatically in the year of 2015 when Merck purchased the US chemical and biotech company Sigma-Aldrich for $13 billion. The deal is expected to be sealed at the end of 2018 as long, and that's again the same story, regulators give their approval.
Well, thanks, Daniel, and let's do this again tomorrow.